YouTube, what's the deal? It's your girl Jahira, and I am back. I am back to offer up a lesson and a rant. Not necessarily in that order. If I look exhausted, if I look like I've been crying, I am, and I have. But something happened to me tonight that couldn't wait until I had laid down and went to sleep and woke up and gotten clarity and processed, and I just have to shoot from the hip with this because it's powerful, y'all. This is some powerful stuff, when you pay attention to your circumstances and you really look for the lesson in the midst of tribulation. I can't allow this fire to settle, and I won't. So, as with all of my rants, not that there have been so many, but, as with the ones that I've had, there will probably be some cursing. There will probably be some, R-rated content submitted by me. And if any of that offends you, I hereby invite you to check out another one of my videos, or wait for a future one, or check out all my affiliates. Because I can't censor myself for this. I absolutely can't. I can, however, smoke and eat my fiber bar. Both of those things, which I'm going to do now. So, let me jump right into it. I got it in my head tonight that I was going to go to Walmart. And y'all know that I don't drive, so it was going to involve, taxis and stuff like that. And I said to myself, because I've had some trouble, like I can get a taxi to Walmart, but getting a taxi back has been characteristically difficult. But I said to myself, it's a Tuesday night, it's late night. Mind you, I'm making this video, it is now 6:52 in the morning. And I decided to go probably around maybe around 12:30. I'll say 12:30 I decided to go. But I said it's a Tuesday night. There's not going to be there's not going to be any traffic, obviously, and then taxis aren't going to have to worry about, people spilling out of the nightclubs and stuff like that. So, it should be relatively easy to get a cab. So I get to Walmart, and I do my shopping and stuff like that, and I mean, it probably takes me about an hour and a half. I get the taxi there, and all that was fine. So we're at right around the 1:45 a.m. mark, and I call for the taxi to bring me home. And they said, okay, well, we'll try to have somebody out to you really soon. It's a slow night, so I don't think it should be a problem. And, if somebody doesn't come through in the next 15 to 20 minutes, just call us back. I'm going to spare you the majority. Y'all, I am hungry. I'm going to spare you the majority of, the sordid details. But suffice it to say, I've never had one of these. I'm gauging it. It's actually not bad. Suffice it to say, I ended up sitting at Walmart waiting for a taxi for 4 hours. And that taxi did not come until 6 this morning. Maybe 6:30. In the interim of those 4 hours, I cursed the state of Kentucky and its transportation system for everything that it was worth. I mean, if you can think of an adjective, I've used it on this adventure. And the first hour and a half, I was kind of okay. I was in my little cart or whatever, and I'd go out and I'd have my cigarette, and I'd come back in, and I was really optimistic. Right around that 2.5 hour mark was when I started to really fall apart. And I mean, like, just me, calling for I mean, like, literally maybe the 11th or 12th time or something like that. I was calling pretty faithfully every 20 minutes. And just this wonderful, dispatch lady, um, who was so patient and just felt so terrible because there was nothing that she could do. And me crying on the phone. Yeah, crying in Walmart. I was crying in Walmart, people. Um, it just, it was about, I knew this cigarette would be out. It was as bad as it could possibly get. So as I'm outside, after having shit, I mean, this was not one of those like eyes glistening. This was like the tears that hit the chest kind of situation. Um, so I went outside to have a cigarette, and I said to myself, what is the lesson that I am meant to learn by this experience? What is the root of this situation? Because when it gets right down to it, it's bigger than the fact that I can't get a cab. It's bigger than the fact that the Kentucky taxi scenario is just completely discombobulated. It's bigger than this. I know that it's bigger than this because, I mean, I feel more. There's a, a greater emotion coming up for me than just frustration and exhaustion. Although those two were big. And this is what I came to, and this is why I'm coming on here at this asinine hour of the morning, as tired as I am, to talk to y'all. Do not ever let somebody diminish the potential you see for yourself. I'm going to break this down for y'all. And again, I'm unrehearsed here. I'm not scripted, obviously. So just bear with me, but follow me. I'm going to bless you, I promise. What came forth from me when I asked myself sort of like what the lowest common denominator of this problem was the fact that when I got here, when I got to Kentucky, I had told my mother that I was going to, start learning how to drive. Because I've never learned. And, growing up in the cities that I did, driving was not a necessity. I had train systems. I had the subway. I mean, I could get up and go as I chose, for the most part. And if I couldn't, a cab would come. Cabs would just come. So, when I said that to her, she told me, and I'm obviously, again, I'm paraphrasing here, but just something to the effect of, driving is so expensive and gas is so expensive and you really don't need to take on that kind of expenditure right now. I mean, you're just here, you're just getting here, you're just getting on your feet. It's not the kind of thing that you can handle, and finding the right car and just, and listed every reason that you can possibly think of as to why it was not a good idea. And I allowed that conversation, because this is no one's doing but mine. I allowed that conversation to take root within me. And what I learned, because we're constantly learning, was that I am not responsible enough to have a car. I am not responsible enough to maintain a car. I am not financially capable at this point of obtaining a car. And I lack the wherewithal to know, all of the responsibility that surrounds, an automobile. And I allowed this to transpire. What we all have to understand, and I mean, I'm telling y'all, the sooner you get this, the better off you will be. And when you learn it, never allow yourself to forget it. There are going to be people in your life who will offer their advice with the very best of intentions, will offer their advice coming from a place of genuine concern for your well being. But when those people, no matter how close they may be to you, offer you their advice, if that advice is not in alignment with the vision that you know you have for your life, you can opt not to take it. You can opt not to apply it. You can opt not to listen to it. And that, my dear subtastics, is the lesson that I have learned on October 26th between the hours of 2 and 6 in the morning. My mother wants nothing but the very best for me, and I know this. I promise I know this. But my mother's baseline emotion is worry. She is worried about everything. She's worried about me. She is worried about you. She's worried about what you had for dinner. She's just worried. That is who she is. That is what she does. That is what she knows. The end. And that worry midwifes a slew of other emotions for her. And worst case scenarios that constantly spring forth from this well-intentioned yet slightly deranged mentality. I love my mother. I truly love my mother. And there is nothing that will stop me from doing so. But the God's plan for my life is bigger and vaster and deeper than I could ever imagine it to be. My destiny, where I am going, and what this life will offer is grander, greater, more than I can even begin to conceptualize. So, how can I be so foolish as to presume that anybody else has an understanding of it? My mother can't grasp what God has in store for me. I can't even do it. How can I expect her to? When you know, as we all are, because I'm not unique, when you know that you are meant for more, to do more, to be more, to offer more than where you are right now, because we're all on this journey, so we're all meant for something greater. Trust me, next week will not look like this week, and you know what I'm saying? You're not doing the same thing that you did 10 years ago, and you probably won't be doing the same thing that you're doing now 10 years from now. So we're all on this road in order to expand. And when you are cognizant of that, nobody else is going to be able to wrap their brain around that thing which you can't even see right now. That thing that you can't even conceptualize for yourself. You understand where I'm going with this, y'all? So you can't expect anybody else to understand that which you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it, y'all. And I won't keep you forever, I promise. I know that I say that a lot and then I end up keeping you, but I'm really trying to work on it. But I've been doing these live classes. I've been giving y'all the recaps the best that I could. And we've been talking about these aha moments. And this tonight was absolutely mine. So, the moral of this story is, I, Jahira, of Jahira's Mission, am going to learn how to drive a fucking car. And I am going to buy a car upon learning how to drive one. And I do not give a shit if that car has 3 wheels and a motherfucking cast iron skillet. I am telling y'all, I am going to find a car that moves, that will take me from point A to point B, and that's what it's going to be. Why? Because I can do it. Because I can maintain it. Because I can obtain it. Because I'm deserving of it. And because I'm 32 years old, and there is no reason under the face of God and all that He created why a 32-year-old grown-ass woman does not know how to drive, nor have a license, nor have a car to go with that license. It's ridiculous. It's asinine. It's absurd. And it stops today. And it might sound silly, but, and I know that to most of America that does not live in New York or Boston or these metro locations that where cars are really an optional thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's tons of you who got your licenses at 16 and never really thought about it. But it is such a big deal for somebody like me. It's a simple thing, but it's a huge thing at the same time. So whatever that might be for you, I really, really encourage you today. Go after it and F the naysayers. Despite who they might be, despite what title they may have in your life, if you know that you know that you know that you are meant for more, let nobody stand in the way of your obtaining it. Nobody. It doesn't matter who they are. They don't know what you know. I'm going to tell you this one story. I'm going to get the hell out of your way. Yolanda Adams, y'all, the famed gospel singer, gave an interview once and said something that I will never forget. She spoke very candidly in this interview about her ex-husband, her former husband, and that in the days when she was just getting her start, he would say to her, you've got all this voice, but there's no money in gospel music. Why don't you be a pop star? Throw on your little mini skirt and throw on a little outfit, you know what I mean, and sing about something, and we could really rake in the big bucks. And what she said was, that she said to him was, but you don't know what God told me. And that was such a powerful moment for me when I heard that. You don't know what God told me. You don't know what He promised me. Not just the world, not just what you read in the Word. You don't know what He promised me. Me, I, Jahira. And I know that I'm meant for more, so I can no longer live in the facsimile of the life that I know I was born for. I have to live in the actuality of the life that I was born for. And this is what you have to do. It's what you have to do. It's what you have to encourage the people that you love to do. This is the way humanity evolves. This is the way we become our most authentic self, is stepping into the fullest capability, the fullest capacity of all that we can achieve. That's it. That's the lesson. I will see y'all again. I hope you're well. I pray that you're well. And I'm going to bed. I love y'all. One love. Whew.